what is this then? Is this Avenge 4? If they're just doing like the standard lanes with like
10
Clinks 1,
seconds
Clock 5,
remaining.
Bloodseeker 3,
Were
Venge.
they doing that actually? Was it Yangon that were playing Venge
5
4?
seconds
Or was
remaining.
it,
I think so.
I think it was Dreammaker? Who's Dreammaker's 4 again?
Dire team back.
We've got
CZY?
Trazam and CZY. I think it was CZY. I almost said it was one of the open qualifier teams. I don't remember now. I know we in another tournament we saw Ragdoll do it for James. He was going medallion into Aghanims.
10 seconds remaining.
Was it this one, man? We saw a Dragonlance Venge 4, which was bonkers.
5
That's
seconds
got to
remaining.
not happen again.
Bonkers bad.
Bonkers bad. Like, why am I seeing this anyway? We're looking for Yangon's position. Do you feel like it's more than likely position 2 against the Storm, or are you happy with what you were speaking about before with the Clinks mid?
I mean, it's okay. The one thing I'm concerned about is that Spirit Breaker, right? Like, I still don't know how Neon are going to lane this. I don't want to see Lion paired together with Darkseer. I feel like it needs to be Spirit Breaker.
Yeah.
But then, like, Jowl Lion is also something that you very rarely see. Like, it just doesn't seem like his type of hero. So are they just going to switch the players up in the lanes?
Yeah, I think they're more than happy to do that. I think that definitely gives them possibility. I've seen, like, Jow's played the Lion, right? I feel like I remember seeing him. Not as, of course, it doesn't feel like his style, but in a game like this, if you're not comfortable with having Genuel play with Xiaoyu in the off lane, then I feel like you have that capability. I want to say Yangon, though, a way to deal with Storm. You need stuns. You have hookshot into maybe Cog's Blood, right? That's about as crazy as you can get. You could Void Spirit and then swap into Remnant. Swap into something could give you a way to kill the Storm. The matchup's not the greatest mid, but they also don't have a lot of stuns for the Void. It's just instant Hex into Vortex. Maybe Spirit Breaker's nearby as well, but it does give you a way to start.
And even later on, right, you get the Aghanim Scepter. It means that you can go in onto the likes of a Lion or a Darkseer. And, Darkseer might have Guardian Greaves to be able to protect against it, but you do have that burst down potential, right, if you're able to get on top of the squishier heroes. I don't mind the Void Spirit. I think it's a totally fine pickup. Even like a Spirit Breaker's charging at you, right? You can dissimulate and be able to avoid a lot of the damage.
Okay, they go the other route. I don't think it's enough it's not easier lockdown versus the Storm.
Yeah.
The matchup, again, I've been very surprised with how Void and Ember have been able to play versus the Storm mid. They seem to be doing a lot better on this patch than I've been expecting, but does give you still a way to be a nuisance on the line. But we're looking for Neon's carry here now for Unknown. He likes the farm intensive a lot, but they need a melee farmer. Is Monkey available?
Darkseer is going to enable.
Yeah, 1000%. You might not be able to jug into Bloodseeker. They do still go it. Okay, so gives you a way to get out of cogs very easily. It's a skill lay Bloodseeker too. Huh.
All right, they do give it to Hustler, the Spirit Breaker. That's good.
Well, this was also the hero he performed best on.
Yeah,
I'd say so too, right? It was just game 1 where we saw with his introduction where he looked very good.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't really have much kill threat against a Juggernaut, right? I mean, I suppose the Blade Fury has a long cooldown. I think it's 46 seconds at level 1. So in between, of course, you're going to have the magic missile into the Blood Right to put a decent amount of harass onto the Juggernaut. We are going to see the Jianuel Lion coming through. So him as well, if he's caught out of position, which probably won't be, but it kind of is his second nature to be up in the enemy's face. So he might be caught off guard by that. Overall, ugh. How am I feeling about this? I don't think Unknown's had a win yet for Neon, has he? On
No.
his 4 outings so far. The first one was definitely not his fault at all. I thought he played a good enough game. And I think he's had one more pretty decent game. But the others, I mean, he was just a little bit too passive in a few of those instances.
Man, the odds are... What the? $1.82 for Neon and $8.43. I'm almost certain that was an 8. Now I believe that is just it's not in particular for this game. We've had issues with the odds at least. But that's from earlier in the day, I imagine. But that is
Now, while we're waiting for this pause to happen, not sure what we're paused for because everyone's still connected. Let's just go over again what this series actually
Yep.
means as well, right? Because we've got OB.Neon sitting on 3 game wins, 11 game losses. So they've played 14 games total. And Yangon Galacticos are 4 wins, 10 losses. And so they've both got 4 games to play, including this series. So essentially, the magic number that you want to reach, want to try to reach, is 7 wins. That will guarantee that you're going to avoid any sort of tiebreaker scenarios, situations. Yangon probably have a bit of an easier road towards that because they've got this series against Neon. If they win one of them, then they can 2-0 against Army Geniuses and reach that magic 7 number. But Neon, they've got to play obviously Yangon Galacticos now, as well as Polaris, who are also going to be fighting for one of those valuable just single wins that will push them to that 7-win category. So right now, both teams really needing a 2-0 for this one. A 1-1, I don't think is going to cut it for Neon.
not at all. Not with how their performance has been so far. But I mean, what more could you want, man? You got a Makoto Storm Spirit in a game where it looks like it looks like a hell of a Storm Spirit game, and that's giving me a bit of worry here. So I'm gonna go Neon. I feel like Makoto can just take over. Like, he's also been performing very well for Neon, but unfortunately just unable to convert it into victories. And I feel like this is a game where they might finally be able to.
Going for a little bit of a backstab here for Yangon Galacticos, trying to get someone as they're on the retreat. I wonder if they'll even just stay here the entire time. Just wait for it to be the 0-minute mark and put one hero maybe towards one of the more passive bounties, so they still go for 2 for 2 and maybe get a kill as well.
30 seconds.
You can see here young PH is like, look at me, pay attention to me, nothing else is happening around the map.
Next second, he just gets obliterated. Somehow they jump on top of him and Ember's down. That would be sight you would not want to see.
Eat my hat if that happens.
Your hat?
Mm-hmm.
It's a very interesting saying. They have a super weak level 1 on Neon, but they are gonna get out. So we'll be
a 2 for 2.
Yeah, Unknown just sneaks on over, snags Radiance by the triangle. Are there any lanes heading into it that you're expecting to be very one-sided?
One-sided. Eventually, it's going to go more heavily favored towards the Darkseer, just because, you know, obviously the Ion Shell level 3, having that onto the Spirit Breaker as well, it's going to make life a little bit tough for the Clockwork, who needs to be up in their face to try and, you know, get some harassment going on. Mid lane.
Denied.
I mean, how strong do I feel about this? Young PH is a good mid, but so is Makoto, right? Like, Makoto is one of the best Storm Spirits in the world, in my opinion. So, if there's anyone that's going to be able to make this matchup look, again, Storm favored, it's going to be him. But
yeah,
Young PH, he's certainly no slouch, and the impact of having that higher magic absorb on the level 1 Flame Guard cannot be discounted.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Like, Makoto should be able to exploit the weaknesses that we've been really expecting in this Storm vs Ember matchup.
No.
So we'll see if that really comes into fruition or not. But in the bottom lane, I'm also intrigued on how they're able to play here with Xiaoyu and Hustler. They got the How once again on a very farm-intensive hero, but the Clinks, we were saying it's a nice pairing with the Clockwork, but yeah, they might overwhelming early on around like the level 4, level 5 with a dive potential.
I feel like it could be even sooner. You know, they've certainly got the tools for it with their heroes just intensive with their skills, not needing any items super early on just to be able to deal with a lot of that harassment coming through. And both lanes, both camps being blocked up on the bottom side. You know, Xiaoyu, Hustler, I think they're totally happy with this as Lun actually walks into them. A little bit keen, but I suppose Xiao Yu's running a little bit low on mana right now, although he's had a Null Talisman delivered out to him, so he's going to have some of that passive regen coming out, as well as the spell amp bonus coming through for the Iron Shell. Still, though, it's only at level 2 that he's going to look to try and get really aggressive.
It does look like both the save lanes at the moment getting a decent amount of farm. As Unknown up top, he's got 12 last hits compared to the 8 at the moment for the Vengeful Spirit. So Brady are going to be very passive. Like the Venge eats the Aghanims. Clinks is just going to be farming around the triangle. And I feel like this is all reliant on the Ember and the Clockwork once he hits level 6 to make a lot of the plays here for Yangon.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Bloodseeker's there to essentially... I mean, they might even look to make a plays if they're trying to target the Juggernaut, for example, right? It's going to be around the initiation on the Bloodseeker with the Rupture. And you might think, oh, he's just going to be able to spin TP away, but that's why you need to be saving that for... How the hell does that happen? For the... How does the hell does that happen?
Oh, no. It's Danog's fault.
You need to save the hook shot for the spin TP is essentially what I'm trying to say here. So I don't think you can look to use any initiate for that, because outside of the Vengeful Spirit that wants to be sitting back a little bit more passively and farming, you're not going to get the true value out of any sort of aggressive initiation onto the Jug unless you've got that BKB piercing disabled.
This lane's not going to get much easier now for Hal. You've got double Null and... Xiaoyu, he's already got the Aghanims queued up as well, so we did see this item nerfed a little bit.
It's not enough to make it, take it away from being strong. It's what, 25 health reduction? That's pretty insignificant in the big scheme of things. It's really the extra charge on it, just being able to buff up multiple heroes, that's the big strength of it for mine.
Rolling a bit at the moment down bottom, Hustler. Blocked in the cogs. And Lun's putting a crap load of damage, but who's actually bringing down who first? It looks like Hustler will be the one to find it. At least Hal gets some solo experience and 191 gold to boot.
Thought Xiao Yu nearly griefed Hustler there by body blocking him as he had a Clockwork with level 2 Battery Assault looking to follow him down. Again, it's going to be so hard for the Spirit Breaker, who, again, he doesn't even need to use the TP to get back to the lane. He's also been able to finish up a Spirit Vessel nice and early. So yeah, just charging his way down to the lane means that he's free to make any kind of defensive rotations through to the side lanes if need be.
Behold my searing chains.
Does look like Makoto is just snowballing this matchup. 40-11. I have to imagine it's a lot of jungle creeps. He does have about a 400 net worth advantage, but he's looking to utilize the level 6. Unfortunately, it just doesn't lock onto young PH at the moment. Bottom lane, still action. Continuing as Xiaoyu will be chased down from Lun. Simultaneously, Hustler is going to dive deep under the tower and has got the damage over time thanks to the Iron Shell, and actually going to look to man fight as well.
Yeah, I don't think you mind that trade. Obviously, Darkseer going down is a pretty significant deal. He needs to be continuously farming, just having that Iron Shell out there, but it's much bigger of a deal for the Clinks to die, and Makoto just showing again his lane dominance, transitioning into... Well, they might be looking to go for a kill here, although missing the chains.
Makoto just to safety. They've got the charge coming on over as well. They probably need the Iron Shell for the extra damage. I said that young PH was caught underneath the tower for a lot longer than he was probably hoping. At least the stick charge is providing some escape avenue. Is he going to be forced to tick out? Oh, multiple bounties? 10 health, he's out to safety.
Getting away a little unfortunate there. If he went down, that would have been a disaster, because that was a guaranteed kill onto Makoto if he landed the Searing Chains. Unfortunately, just clipping onto the creeps instead as they make an aggressive move onto Zorain on this top side.
Oh, Lons?
Actually,
he's just stalking them right now. Freshly picked up haste, and he can gap close on Genuel.
Waiting here. They're trying to get a kill onto the Clinks in response, and well, this is a Clinks in the laning stage, so he doesn't have any points into the Skeleton War.
Makoto is having a very good start, top of the net worth. Soul Ring Tread's about to be completed. We also see Unknown having a credible time as well, and he has his Battle Fury also queued up, so You're back into the high emphasis of looking to just flash farm at the best he possibly can.
Young PH is doing his best to try and bully Makoto, but he's got way too many resources to play with that I don't think it's going to matter too much. We've got another charge in onto Hao, just keeping the pressure up consistently. Jiayu, he will be a little bit short on being able to land the ion onto Hustler, though.
Oh, Rainbow TPs. Hao's got to get out. It's actually Hustler.
I don't think you mind. This is a ton of space created for the other lanes as well, just continuing to allow Makoto to have a safe time farming, and now Unknown knows that he can just safely transition back to the jungle and have a free time.
We're actually forced to drop wall just to deter the clockwork, so it's a big ulti that they may have needed just to have the extra damage to clean off the Hao clinks.
I think it's not that impactful super early on. Honestly, we see Darkseer's not even looked to go into the wall of replica this early on, obviously just wanting to prioritize a little bit more of that utility for the gank potential. Speaking of...
Hustler's already got level 6, my god. Another TP down. Look at the space they're creating. Unfortunately, this time they won't escape it. All 5 heroes.
Does anyone have TP available?
Just the Clinks is about to have it up. But that is so much time. I mean, Makoto is just taking away the mid wave. Top is free farming on Unknown.
For the twins.
This is the power of the Spirit Breaker. Just pull the enemy to different sides of the map, and we've seen now that it doesn't even need to be in this core role. Makoto, I wonder if he's going to go for a cheeky play just to try and swipe back the bounty rune. Gonna decide against it. Look to move back towards the mid lane. I say that as he's starting to walk around a little bit. Maybe make a play towards the top side of the map with the siege creep as the TPs start to come in. Hao has to be careful about showing himself too much. Still all grouped up though. All these heroes in the one space means that experience graph is going to heavily be favoring OB.Neon, even though the gold graph is relatively stable.
It is nice, at least, with how Radiant have set up a lot of their wards. Just around the river for where the Spirit Breaker...
So the charge in onto the Bloodseeker is going to net them almost certainly a kill.
So Rain,
I don't know about this TP, my man. I mean, sure, you might be able to say, I can create space too, but you got to stay farming.
Yeah, he's finding a couple of components already towards the Ags. He's actually just brown boots into it. So he's got the Blade and Ogre, but with Unknown tipping down bottom, this should be an early tower to find. This is a nice thing about the Juggernaut, that you can group up in a lot more earlier fights just to offer some prowess here and help take the objectives, where we see the Clinks can't really do that.
Yeah, you're so much squishier as the Clinks that as soon as you commit to something, if they look to make a rotation and all of the supports aren't right there to protect you, you just feel so vulnerable. Jug, of course, much more self-sustainable.
They're going to look to try and defend top as well, and will in fact get their own kill. They got the vision on Hao. Makoto even holding Dust as well. They need the TPs once again, but they're not going to be fast enough as a zap down from the backline. Makoto might be in a bit of trouble, but the stun lock is still not showing at the moment, as he can zip off and to dodge the blood right. Another stun starting to fly. Chains last second. He's still ruptured up as well, so just has to stand his ground in man fight. They need to offer some blockade for the Storm Spirit, but the inevitable does finally occur. This Hustler still even looking to go forward for more with one more bash. Will just get the kill. Ember's completely out of mana. I think Hustler's fine.
So this is why Lion's not the Chow sort of hero. Well, actually, good use of the mana drain there to make sure that he can't continue to move on forward. But yeah, it was actually a really nice hook through from Lun there, making sure he was able to land onto the true target in the Storm Spirit and go through 2 heroes on the way, so even getting them stunned up.
Still surprising on how Hao is actually being able to keep up in farm compared to Unknown. And they've got a couple of stacks at him by the Ancient so far, so the Clinks have a good old time. Young PH gonna be in trouble here, but the Omni Strike's dropped. Unknown slashing him down to 1,000 pieces throughout the rivers. That's just another death here. He's up to only his first.
Hao does have the Maelstrom now completed for himself, though, so just looking to take as much farm as he can on the map, just pushing out that top lane, and now he's got that nice little Ancient stack to look to rocket his farm up even further.
Yeah, it's... We see how he's playing with the Clinks here. Pulling the hard camp to the Ancients. Very nicely played just to maximize as many creeps as he can get. Fortunate for Zorain, he's not able to maximize his farm, though, as Neon beeline it down to bot to really prevent this Aghanim's timing. How many components has he got right now? He's got 3.
He's still doing pretty well.
Yes, very, very well.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Especially considering, you know, you're coming up against this Spirit Break as someone that, you know, on a Vengeful Spirit, there's very little that you can do to try and stop the early aggression. A Spirit Break is always going to be paired together with someone else that's going to be able to try and stop any kind of swap or stuns from coming out onto the SB in time for him to connect it.
Xiaoyu getting dive past the outpost here, but now once again the rotations across the map. Hustler's always showing up, and Januel, perfect positioning as well, so Xiaoyu's not going to go down for free. Still see Young PH is able to deal with the backline, so it will be a 2 for 2 if they've got to cancel for skill lay, and Hustler, one smash to the cleaver will do it. They're looking for more.
He's been part of 11 of the 12 kills so far, and they're even looking to commit onto Hao here. Dust.
Makoto, even a buyback coming through from skill lay, swap out to safety. Makoto has still got some mana to look to play around with the moment. This might be a little bit too deep, but unknown. Blade Fury is now on cooldown, and that's going to cost him his life. There's Yangon. Big kill to find. Not really a buyback that was necessary. Maybe it just, you know, forced Neon not to split together.
Value kill though on the Juggernaut. I mean, he's still on the Battle Fury, but playing a much more aggressive style, so it doesn't make sense logically. But it's been working up until that point, right? It's just going a little bit too deep, perhaps needing to TP away once that spin was charged up.
Young PH has done a very good job too. He is more farm than Makoto. I wonder if this is off the back of Storm not really prioritizing a lot of his... he's also got 104 lost hits, so I wonder why Makoto's fallen so far behind.
Dire's top
I mean, he has been rotating around a lot. It hasn't always resulted in a kill, and a lot of his time has been spent running away from a few of the engagements that Yangon were trying to make onto them. Now, though, you've got the Aghanim Scepter. They're feeling so much more confident in being able to push. Still does feel like, you know, who do you rally behind to actually do the tower damage, though? Obviously, you've got the Clinks who has the capability for it, but they've got multiple ways to lock you down right now on Neon's side.
A subtle burn.
Neon also...
like, Makoto. If Makoto reveals bot or mid, they'll feel a little bit more confident to try and make a play happen, just because he's going to at least have to expend his TP, and it's going to be a little bit more obvious. They've got some okay burst potential if they get that initial lockdown with Hao. Hustler, he's just shadow amuleted here. Right behind the tower. Everyone's none the wiser.
Looks like they will give this one up, however. Neon definitely weren't wanting to. You see how long they were trying to stick in the area. How many times they've brought their forces to defend it, commanded them to the top side. They might have to do it once again as Radiant. They're underneath an observer. Nice sidestep from Xiaoyu, so instantly they ping it out.
They should know that Hustler's here as well. They saw him walk forward and place the Ion Shell onto someone. So the fact that he's still been able to stand here completely still like a statue, just can't move a muscle.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And this is...
Radiant's bottom tower is
I mean,
under
Hao is
attack.
just free farming, but Unknown at least has the Battle Fury completed, so he's working towards his next item of the Sanjin Yasha. But Radiant feels super strong to transition this into another objective. Did you want to see Neon try and defend? I feel like you have to for the tier 1 mid.
I think you can now. I think Makoto was just really realizing, okay, I'm falling behind a little bit in farm. But it's not going to be fast enough with it already dropping fairly low. 17 minutes though, being able to get some of these new neutral items could give them that little bit of a power spike that they need. I feel like they're respecting the power that the Vengeful Spirit has now that she's picked up her Aghanim Scepter. Really do like the fact that Venge has gone into the cloak as well. Doesn't even need to build into anything beyond that. Just the casual value coming out of it. Doesn't want to convert it into something that might have an active component just yet. It's just a lot of the damage coming now.
Target of the smoke. They're going to swap him back for the bleed effect. And you see the synergy showing. Hustler's going to be the next target. Bit difficult to kill off here thanks to the Bordeaux. That's level 3. So they're happy with getting the kill at least. But he did find the Aghanims before he died.
Here I am.
But Hao is working on a pretty early BKB, so he feels like he's going to be forced to show up in a lot of these fights.
I think so as well. I feel like it's more the fact that, again, you're lacking in push outside of this Clinks. You know, the Ember Spirit can't be relied on to do it. Your Bloodseeker's a support. Your Vengeful Spirit, you want to be kind of in the middle of the team fight, not at the front.
They're coming over to try and play around with the illusion after the death. Young PH, he's got the DD. They're able to swap back Xiaoyu as well. The control still continuing to lack. And Neon just don't feel safe to take these fights. I mean, Makoto hasn't shown up. Unknown's just teetering on the edge of the fight, and it's been all Yangon the past couple of minutes.
Makoto just completely ignoring any kind of help that his team might need. He's obviously prioritizing wanting to go into that Bloodstone super early on. He's got the Kaya component. But, you know, you're going to keep losing objectives and losing your important heroes right now. Yes, you've been able to finish up the Aghanim Scepter on the Darkseer, but I feel like a big part of the Spirit Breaker's effectiveness in this position 4 role is going to be having that Shadow Blade to be able to create a bit more chaos on the map.
My just reward.
It's Radiant. What level do they have in Wave of Terror? Okay, he's maxed out. They are targeting Sorain. Got a lot of forces being commanded down bot. And this time, Radiant, they're still coming on over. Bass TP's at the outpost, Hustler. Again, have they got detection? Okay, yep. Sentry drop, Hustler. So this time, he won't be able to hide out of the Shadow Amulet. But they do go for a 1-for-1.
Little play by Makoto there. It might not seem like much, but he made sure that he was showing in the lane just to allow Unknown to get that extra creep wave on the bottom side. He knew all of Yangon Galacticos were hanging around their outpost, so by creating a little bit of the distraction, creates more farm for the Juggernaut and also keeps this creep wave pushing into the tower.
Are scanning.
Looks like it's continuing to be a lot of farm though for the Clinks. Like, yes, both position 1 seem to be getting exactly what they want out of the map, but Clinks is going to have a big BKB timing here, where I'd like to see Yangon make a play across the map now. If they can get an objective, then they can definitely lead it into Roche, especially with their vision control around the top outpost as well.
The real difference that I'm seeing is that it's just like, yes, Clinks can spend a lot of time farming, but it feels like he's much quicker to be able to join team fights just through the use of the skeleton walk. It's actually going to go towards this bottom side. Has to be a little bit careful if they did opt to try and make an aggressive move with Zhao having finished up the Blink Dagger. Might be trying to go for a smoke here with Darkseer, Spirit Breaker, and Zhao Nuel, but it's going to be underneath an Observer Ward, so that should have been pinged out. OPH is kind of walking into danger a little bit here.
For the twins.
They target Venge or the Ember. Looks like they're going to go for both, but it gives the opportunity for Young PH to pop a very early BKB. He doesn't have too much mana to play in the tank with at the moment, so he's got to be cautious of the rotations, but they're still coming through thick and thin for Radiant. The only side Charlotte used at the moment. It's a lot of damage here. Young PH is in trouble. He's overcompromised his position. He's going to be punished. A 2-for-1 to start the fight. They've got the initial stun onto Makoto, but he's actually going to look to turn and clean off the Venge. Makoto feeling powerful at the moment, recognizing that the lack of stuns is a bit of an issue.
I'm just not sure what that attempt was for. You know, you're trying to go onto a Spirit Breaker with a Darkseer, sorry, an Ember Spirit with a Spirit Breaker, Darkseer, and a Lion without the Finger of Death. So where's the damage going to come from, especially against someone that's got that Flame Guard maxed out. Makoto nearly got gone on there. He's going to avoid the silence just in time with the healing ward, keeping him somewhat healthy. Actually see a Rod of Atos come out here.
Oh, nice play from Zorain, but still Hustler. Swing on over into the middle of the fight. Makoto's now going to be able to target down the Bloodseeker as well. So beautiful execution as Neon will hit back up. Now who do they want to target next? The Illusion Bait will give Zorain space. They're back on top of the clockwork on the higher ground, which means Hal does have some space with the help of Young PH to lock in the Spirit Breaker. But nonetheless, it is a 3-for-1 in Neon. A team fight that were very much needing to bring themselves back into this.
I mean, it seemed like a good swap, but it just put him right into the middle of all of the carnage that was happening there. And, you know, that's the big problem that Juggernaut's having right now, is just finding someone to lock in onto. So the fact that Unknown was able to be part of that team fight and a significant factor was pretty telling for Neon to be able to get the better part of that trade.
And I was really hoping that Yangon, they're actually going to keep fighting.
Here, Unknown.
Yeah. I was really hoping that the BKB timing would be huge from Yangon, where they get a kill, lead into Roche. But now these past couple of kills that they've given up themselves is offering for the next item soon to be completed. And we see 18 Bloodstone charges for Makoto. How close is Unknown to... He's going Basher next. So
I don't hate it. You know, you're against a Clockwork, Clinks, Ember Spirit, all these heroes that do rely a little bit on their maneuverability.
Do you feel like he needs control though? Like, I wouldn't hate the Skadi versus the Clinks at all, and it gives him survivability so he can kind of stand his ground versus the Rupture.
I wouldn't either, but I wonder how much the decision is impacted by, you know, what we've seen happen in previous games, where, you know, he went for a Skadi when realistically they probably needed some more damage, so maybe just tilting a little bit too far the other way.
They're going to look for a smoke, Young PH, the one on the front line. He's already in perfect position to be able to swap in the nick of time, which we will do so. But the back into the answer. Perfect setup for the Nether Strike as well, just in the time of the range. But Young PH is still actually looking to go deep on the back line. Simultaneously Unknown. He's ruptured up. He's going to try and play around with the Omni Slash, which will secure the kill, but they're going to be cautious because the Blood Right finds the silenced. So locking the Storm Spirit, a 2 for 2. There's a very messy fight from either team.
Just felt like without the Storm Spirit, like they had some good chain lockdown onto the Ember as well. They were able to clean up another kill. Without the Storm Spirit, you don't have the damage to take out this Ember, and it feels like now twice that they've attempted to go for that. Eventually, Makoto zips in and tries to join, but great use of the hook shot, Rod of Atos, Blood Right to make sure you're able to lock him down and kill him in return. But yeah, they had the initiation, they comboed everything together fairly well with the Hex, the Earth Spike, the Charge, the Nether Strike, the Vacuum, but the damage just isn't there, even though the control is.
It seems like you need either the Spirit Breaker or the Storm to go on the Venge. Like, there's been a couple of fights where that swap has just been fast enough to enable the Ember to get the BKB. So...
And not just the BKB, but also the follow-up coming beyond that, right?
Yeah.
It's still having that minus damage component to it. I believe it's 40% now that he's level 2. So 3 seconds is quite a long time in such a hectic team fight like this.
Also just delete some of the Bloodstone charges that Makoto was starting to accumulate here. He was getting a difficult Storm to deal with, but now they've killed him the once. They can definitely start to make this a trend before the BKB. They've got to be pretty perfect though with their stun lock.
Seen onto the Bloodseeker. Might end up going through Young PH. Actually, they've got vision for the hookshot to land.
Hustler. So let's see how we can get involved here. He's just going to get ripped apart. Now Young PH still having a pretty free fight. I say that, Januel. The bash is out for Unknown. They've got the control. Zorain too late to offer any protection with the swap already on cooldown. But still, there's no spin for Unknown. A little bit too late in that regard. So once again, a very messy team fight is raided. They'll clean up and they still have to venge if they want to go back for Roche. And you are just hiding in a nook. They'll get division. He's on top of the skellies though. Oh my
Radiant's
god.
middle tower is under attack.
How didn't he spin there? You know, he was standing on top of a blood right. Sure, you had the rupture on top of you, but you know, you get that spin off. You don't take the blood right damage. You don't take the maelstrom damage coming through from the clinks, and you probably live long enough to get your Omni Slash off.
And now you're...
Big price to pay. Zorain has to be a little careful though. Obviously, dying for him isn't the worst. Is he trying to die?
Oh, I might just... Makoto's like, huh? I just got 2 kills, what's going on? They're not going to get the Aegis. Do they still want to fight? I mean, they don't have Unknown right now, which is a lot of your damage, and now Xiao Yu swapped back into the midst of it all. So... a timed, untimed, however you want to call it for Makoto, he gets 2 kills, but not the Aegis, the granddaddy prize, and... Januel is also going to be the consolation here, as Yangon will make it a triple for Hao.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I mean, the double kill is a nice little bonus for him, and it gives him the gold bounty that he needs to be able to pick up the BKB. So many times now, it feels like Makoto's been able to make a good counter initiation, but he always dies to the follow-up coming immediately afterwards. Well, that BKB is certainly going to do a lot for his survivability.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Sure, he'll look to try and push out this bottom lane. Maybe just wait for the next wave to come on through so we can clear 2 waves in the time of 1. And then look to join up with the rest of the team when they respawn in about 5 seconds or so. Actually, charge coming down towards the bottom side, but him saying, you know what, Hustler, I don't need you down here, buddy.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
I
attack.
still have an even game at the moment in regards to how the graphs are looking, but...
Look at the levels though. Like Makoto level 23, Clink's level 23. No one else really remotely there. Unknown, I suppose, a little bit, but it's a big drop off after that.
Yeah, I mean, what do you... Okay, went the Blade Fury DPS on Unknown.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They're gonna try and start the fight at the Aegis on Clinks. I mean, you have to get Zorain. Yeah, you're gonna charge down Clinks, but now instantly Lun, along with the Venge, is going to offer some protection. What a vacuum! Omni/combination of ridiculous synergy from Neon will cut down 3. You still have to go into the Aegis advantage, but it looks like it's not going to matter, as Hao will just try and mount Sun retreat. Young PH as well needs to scramble away. Makoto, Arcane Rune to boot. How long do they want to stick around?
Actually wanting to back off entirely.
Looking for me?
That is the one wombo we haven't really seen so far from Neon.
Refuse go.
Maybe we'll reclaim the Aegis as well. Always a nice little bonus to prevent them from continuing their push on forward. Still have yet to give up this top tier 2 tower, obviously realizing the importance of it around having control towards Roche. You don't always want to have that 6-second TP coming through if you've got the outpost, but tier 2 tower just as good.
With flair.
I don't know if Dai can contest it again with the wall on cooldown, so they're gonna have to give this one up. How is just skyrocketed his farm. Satanic next item. He's got a 5,000 net worth lead over the Storm, and he is an item plus ahead of his counterpart. They are not going to give them an opportunity though.
Boom, there it goes.
To have these cooldowns back up, as Yangon looking to smoke and connect to the bottom side. The scan, perfect on Unknown. Now they don't know if it's a Juggernaut, but they're going to look for a long wraparound. See how they look to start the fight as Januel. He'll pop the smoke, so this is definitely not the worst target to lose, as everyone else making away they do.
Swing wide.
And the wave even pushing it a little bit. It was the siege creep wave, so the fact that they've been able to stop it from taking the tier 2 tower on Yangon's side of the map is going to be a big factor for them. Obviously, they feel like they need to be taking the aggressive sort of play, right? Their lineup is much more oriented around kills, with the Juggernaut being the superior sieger in my eyes compared to the Clinks. So if you're able to get those kills as a result of map control, that's going to put you in a really good spot.
Dire's bottom tower.
Now, Radiant do have very good wards across the map, though. Like, it seems like you got 3 up top, 1 by the triangle.
Going in.
Dire got 1 by bottom outpost and 1 up top by the lane. So
Radiant's top
have
tower
to
is
see-
under attack.
Neon do have
Radiant
very
structures
solid
are
initiation in their team fight, like we saw previously, but that needs to be enabled by your vision game, and at the moment it's a bit lacking.
It is. The other thing that I'm quite concerned about is how
Radiant's
how
top
little
tower
Hustler
under
is farmed.
attack.
You know, he's going to charge through onto this Vengeful Spirit again. I'm not sure if he has the follow-up, although maybe now that Lon looked to miss that hook shot there.
They're
You've
coming
got Storm Spirit
behind.
looking to come in.
Yeah, Omni Slash solely used on How. Do they have the damage to go through the clinks at the moment? The Venge isn't offering any assistance, but as soon as the Satanics popped, Unknown needs to retreat to safety. He's getting poked down slowly. They'll turn with the bash, needs a secondary one, it's not going to find it. So a 2-for-1, a buyback for Genuel. That's going to be a dieback. It's a very key component. You need as many stuns as you can get right now.
Jackpot.
I'd even look to snipe the courier. Why not?
Dire's courier has been killed.
Value Sentry Ward, Observer Ward combination there, catching Hustler's Spirit Breaker as it looked to charge down towards the bottom side, just giving that extra couple of seconds for the team to set up around that and have an advantageous team fight. I was a little surprised, like they got the backstep off as well because they knew where the rest of the team was. But I'm a little surprised that Mikoto didn't look to join in onto the Spirit Breaker and help burst down the key targets there. I mean, we just saw how little a Juggernaut's able to do. That for me is the key factor of this team fight. If you get Rupture onto the Juggernaut, what does he do? You know, he can't chase around an Ember Spirit. You can't chase around a Vengeful Spirit. Clinks can just run away from you. And Clockwork, like, you've got a ton of mobility in your own right, as well as area deny with your cogs.
So it's cool to see that Klink's still late game is absolutely stupid. That's always fun. Yeah, 4,600 health, very cool.
So, yeah. Having that extra Dark Pact health and damage. So on the fly next, I don't know
Is this
about that.
Klinks?
Yeah. I don't think he needs it. Is it like maybe just avoiding the bashes, honestly, for the evasion component might be the factor.
If he's gonna die, it's from Vac into pull into Omni Slash.
Sure.
But I don't know. This is just like a prime example of why Juggernaut is not a good hero.
Radiant are scanning.
But they've got capability for Wombo. It needs to be perfect for Neon at the moment. 5,000 feels a lot higher as Genuel. You're not playing a melee hero. You can't be positioned like that, unfortunately. So still a key component nonetheless.
He's died 9 times. It feels like more to me.
Yeah.
You know? You're just getting picked off towards the start of constant team fights. The diebacks coming through. It's certainly not the best performance that we've seen from him.
Rock it on.
The beautiful thing is he's on a hero that can make plays, so he can definitely. You have one team fight where all of a sudden we're like, Genuel, what the hell just happened? You switch accounts or something for that one last fight?
Makoto's looking to save up for. He opted to go for the Overload attack bounce for his level 25 talent, but hasn't picked up his Aghanim Shard just yet. I feel like that's going to be pretty damn significant for a lot of the damage output, which again, I feel like is a little bit lacking towards the start, especially if you're trying to 100-0 to someone, most notably the Vengeful Spirit.
Bottom tower has fallen.
What's the cooldown of it?
Well,
Stupendous.
What's
I want to say... I don't know why, I just want to say 12 seconds. I might be wrong.
To the
Okay.
radiant.
Huzzah!
Well, in a tight vicinity area like Roche, we're in a perfect spot to take a fight, but they were not aware of it at all. Again, Radiant's Vision reigning supreme as they get the Aegis on Klinks. Believe they gave the Ag Shard to Young PH, unless he had that previously. I don't think so. No one else has got one.
It's 30 seconds, by the way. I just checked.
Okay.
I am not a mid player.
Tool tips. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jug did get Omni Slash. Sorry, Omni Slash. Got Scardy.
Never
So we were
refuse
wanting
gold,
that earlier, but now it feels like it's like now he needs damage. It's still great nonetheless versus a range carry, and with the lifesteal that you're gonna find from the Satanic. But I
All the way back to base. Like you kind of left the rest of your team out here, and they're all in separate places. Like Zhao's just slowly farming a creep camp, maybe realizing, okay, well, maybe we'll luck out. Maybe we'll get some fantastic tier 4 items at this time. And that's going to be what brings us back into this. Hustler's a little far forward, though. The Bulldoze should be able to save him. Just trying to play the game as much as possible, it seems, on Hustler. Makoto, rather.
wait, what? Neutral item is the Jug got. Paladin, huh? Makoto's holding leveler.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Haste.
Maybe attack speed. Maybe just wanting to get those overload bounces proccing immediately.
Oh my god, Storm, does he go for it? Okay. They're actually gonna take the fight. Asa. Heroes coming in the wing. Zipping as well onto multiple heroes. You gotta be careful now because the follow-up's coming with all the AoE damage. And it comes out just like that. 2 heroes down, Unknown. He's super far on the backline. He needs assistance and he needs it now, but they've deserted him. Unknown's still looking at man fight, swap away, rupture, bleed damage is enough. It's a big kill on top of the Juggernaut. They've kind of given away too many from Yangon, so maybe Neon can stick around. They're actually going to just feed away Januels. The rest of Neon, they're content with what they've got to delay the ages.
There's the use of that leveler, right? Just giving him that extra little burst potential that you need to be able to lock down both the Vengeful Spirit and another hero. The Aghanim Scepter coming in clutch here for Makoto.
Are they going high ground?
Thinking about it, testing for buyback on Juggernaut, I suppose.
Radiant structures
Storm Spirit,
are
not really the
fortified.
hero that you want to be testing this against, though. A lot of burst damage every now.
I mean, at least you got Zoray nearby. Well, still for Zhao you to play with. Once again, the Vortex onto multiple heroes. They need to prioritize Zoray, but Makoto is doing so much damage. Wow.
Yeah, he just did 4.3k damage in that little span of time.
Okay. I dig the leveler.
He's doing multiple things as well, just looking to try and... Oh, actually, is he farming more neutral items for himself? Pentage, not great.
For the
Juggernaut might be alright on. But I feel like his main issue is living right now, so honestly the Paladin Sword seems like a pretty decent pickup. Telescope's going to be nice for Zhao.
Lord. Oh my lord, I just want to see Dyer's neutrals. There we go.
What, not being able to...
Oh, dude, oh my god. I can't, yeah, I can't. I can only see Radiance.
If any Valve employee is watching, please fix this. Not being able to use hotkeys to select anyone, not being able to left click anyone, having to use box drag, which isn't always effective, and then maybe even just the graph being a little bit confusing as well. It was what?
Okay. So they gave the Pentage Sword to the Jug. Who did you say Telescope had? Because I was going through some issues. Did Radiant get it or Dio?
I'm pretty sure Storm Spirit got it.
Okay.
I think.
Zhao's holding Keen Optic right now, so if they did get it on Dio, then I'm sure he'd love the upgrade.
Is it coming on the Korean now? Yes, it is. Sorry.
Okay.
Dire are scanning.
Not just for yourself as well, right? Just being able to get that extra range onto the back wall, onto the Surge, onto the Nether Strike from the Spirit Breaker. Hell, even Omni Slash. It's a big bonus. You know, you often see, back in the day, before Juggernaut could go into the Abyssal Blade for that mini blink. Of course, it's gone now. But you would just end up going the Swift Slash build because there's a little bit of that extra window, extra cast range.
Bloodseeker. Far pushed up, he's got heroes in the backline. Zorank, does he want to commit the swap just to keep the Bloodseeker alive? It looks like he will. Young PH, he recognizes his job, though, instantly hunting the backline as they lose out of the line. But this is not the start of the fight that Neon were looking for. They need the instant 1-2 punch through the team fight, but Unknown, he hasn't been able to retreat to safety. They need to refill the resources on Storm so he can get back in the midst of it all. It looks like Unknown's A-okay. Who forced out the buyback? Xiao did. Skill A did and Hustler did as well.
Money changes.
2 for 1. Gotta be careful on Makoto here. He's got the last little bits of the double damage, but can't be getting caught out in the bad spot. He actually gets a Timeless Relic. Really effective for this Aghanim Scepter build-up that he's going for.
Hustler.
This would be a dieback.
Can't lose anyone at this stage of the game. Makoto will make an attempt, drag back to the low ground, they'll blow up the clockwork. Young PH is very far away from the team now with the Hex. They've got the initial control with the bash coming up before he dies on the Spirit Breaker. That's enough. They'll find a huge kill, but what's it going to cost them as How's still pushing them further and further back inside the base.
Although the fact that young PH is gone does remove a lot of the initiation aspect to these team fights, so I feel like they're not going to lose too much in the form of objectives.
Do it with flair.
No Aegis either.
They got to go before they get off.
Oh, I guess. I mean, you
need
still have a
unknown
4v3 situation. Feels a little antsy though. I feel like, again, Storm Spirit on the high ground is pretty damn effective.
Instant swap, stun, only onto Zorain. Maybe if they can target down with the Vengeful Spirit. Oh, the Omni Slash tanked up through the Create Wave and Unknown. Minimal damage at best. He's ruptured up. Seems to be no escape. He's going to try and play around with the Healing Ward. Lotus Orb, is it actually going to be enough? But how? So much attack range. He can just siege through from afar. They even push back Genuel to the cogs, but it has to be the Makoto show. It always will and always might just be. As a Storm finds one, is at least able to get out to safety, but you force the buyback onto Unknown.
Even Lund just able to get away, so the fact that he bought back previously not going to be punished too heavily. It's a big cost to pay for Neon Esports right now, and well, Roche could potentially be spawning in 20 seconds time. It just makes it all the more important for Neon right now. They need that second life on the Juggernaut. The ruptures have been on point, though, coming through here from Skill A.
Does this just not show you how absolutely goddamn stupid Venge is as well? Like, we've still... The heroes...
They're not focusing him, right? Like,
but like, yeah...
someone else.
But they have killed him sometimes, and he still has an illusion that can swap, and now he has goddamn 25 talent that goes through BKB. It's like, yeah, cool. Like, what? This hero late game with 12,000 net worth. Like, what?
I still feel like you focus the Venge, man. Like,
You have
kill
to.
it once, you kill it twice. It's not massively tanky, right? Like, he doesn't have a ton of net worth as they're looking to go for a bit of
Kodo's
a...
huge.
I'm over here.
Zorain is illusion, 20 seconds left. Hustler's in trouble, you can't feed away any kills. Makoto jumping, but he doesn't have the resources. Once again, the mana completely expended. Makoto's in trouble! And he's down. Yangon, 100-second window now where they can end this game, but Xiaoyu's not going to give them the opportunity! The wall! Multiple heroes, finger at death as well! How's in trouble? Oh my god! Young PH now. Maybe he can play around with the remnants. Bash last second, he's out. Oh my!
Oh, Zhao Yu's the savior for the team. Maybe just giving them that little bit of extra window of time. It's a pretty quick Roche respawn. Only 20 seconds left on the timer. But it's anyone's game still. Wow, what a crazy play to bring him back. I thought that was the game done.
Woo.
He's into level 25 as well, so he's going to have that parallel wall to be able to play around, create a whole lot more safety for the rest of the team. What's Zhao's items looking like? Because it just feels like he's in a really vulnerable position in every single one of these engagements. Like, he's only got the Blink Dagger, I believe. So if he's able to pick up some kind of item, some kind of defensive capability for himself... Oh, Hustler. Bro.
They got Gem. He needs to pass this off, I feel like. Wait. Hustler? Did they not see him? Okay, Rupture wasted. 3-on-3 at the moment. Another incredible wall onto multiple heroes. Now you got all the way AoE damage with the spin! Again, it's the Xiaoyu show! Screw Makoto! Let's have the Darkseid be the MVP fight after fight!
Just Makoto sleeping on the sideline. What do you know? Roche is up and available. Storm Spirit, he's going to sit down to the bottom and clear that one out and then quickly join his team. Look to, well, I don't think we're in a position to see a miracle clockwork play, are we? I think he's going to launch that rocket flare out immediately, but it's just going to be a little bit too little too late.
Roshan has fallen
I mean,
to the
Darkseid just bought Refresher.
And you just got a shard on Roche.
Yeah. Do you give that to Storm? I was actually considering he went
Dire are
because his
scanning.
Ags has been so huge for them to win fights. I actually think you give him the shard.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, you got double hex now as well.
Where is it? I'm missing it.
He might have given it over to the
A
Jug.
Hustler's holding at the moment.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Don't know about that one.
Oh. No Venge for 30 gives you a big window to assassinate a
Radiant's middle
target
tower has fallen.
before the save comes out.
Over here.
Dakota's gonna look to jump.
Photo. They know they don't have any reliable lockdown right now. Clinks is all in on the damage. There's no sheep stick, there's no orchid or anything like that to even force a BKB out. So they just need to play this really passively. Honestly, even back in the fountain, because
Yeah, just give it up.
you don't want to be feeding yourself one by one.
Okay, very good.
Radiant's middle barracks.
Homing is
Oh, who would have thought Neon would be the first team to take a full set of barracks, but they're in this position now. They're also going to look to take tier 2 top while they're around, so all the outer towers now claimed. Everyone has the capability
Radiant's
to
top
get tier
tower
3s
has
and
fallen.
potential racks with their next team fight victory.
All right, Lion finally has an Aeon disc coming out to him, so
Wait,
he's
Zhao-
not going to be easy
Oh.
pickings. What, Zhao, you TP near the bottom side of
Yeah,
the...
because they flared. I thought they were going to go. They're grouping up, man. Oh. Okay, we good. We can chill for a bit.
And he's been given over the refresher shard as well, so multiple refreshers and walls and everything able for Zhao Yu to be able to potentially turn this team fight around. Hell, even just getting multiple Lotus Orbs off could be a key moment of difference here
Dire
with
are scanning.
the Aghanim Scepter available on skill A.
boom.
I mean, yeah, how close to levels are we? So 30 on Clinks is soon. He's about to be 29 and a half.
There's here.
Jug, 28. What has he picked up recently? A MKB, I think?
Let me try box dragging him. Yes, it's a smoke as well. They're looking for a wraparound here.
Where's the gem sitting? Is it just on Spirit Breaker? Yeah,
That's what I'm seeing.
Hustler. Yeah.
Trying to find someone as they go forward to clear the creep wave, but very disciplined play coming out from Yangon Galacticos. If you don't have information, don't make plays.
This is... Now it's Neon's turn to control the map. It's felt like they've been playing on their side for a majority of the game, but now they've got the vision advantage. It's the help of the gem. And we've seen what can happen in these team fights when you clump up, and vision is just going to enable that much easier.
And it's even going to get, like,
Homing in.
for Makoto, he's almost reached level 29, right? So you're going to have that that static remnant with 1.25 second cooldown, I believe. So just constantly able to spam those out, have overload procs happening, bouncing around everywhere. The right-click damage from him is huge right now with the increased spell damage from the Timeless Relic. He's got a Hex, he's got a ton of intellect just from being level 29 as well as his items.
And every single map is so important for these two teams. With the minimal amount of games they have left, both of them have 4 games to potentially secure a place in the playoffs. Currently, Neon are in 9th position and Yangon are in 8th. So again, they need to win as many maps as possible to give themselves some hope. You don't want to put it... You don't want to put your fate in other people's hands. And right now, well, Neon, with how they've been able to formulate a comeback into this game, and all of a sudden, they're the ones with the momentum. They're the ones with the lead. They're the ones controlling the tempo and the map. But now it's time for Yangon to come outside. They're smoking up as 5, looking for an angle, looking for anyone they can jump.
They know the timer on that Roche as well. Only 20 seconds away. They can look to try and pick off this Juggernaut. Does he have buyback again yet? How long has it been since he went down? He does have buyback available, but a little bit short on the gold.
Hey, how's
Way.
Had just bought Hex, so he tried to smoke outside the base.
Got plenty of money.
Yes, sir, he does.
Incoming.
I mean, we're gonna have. What's the buybacks looking like? Jug's about to have it up shortly, and that he does. All right. Well, I mean, we're going 60 minutes, I believe, with everyone having buyback, unless there's a huge fight by Roche. Another smoke. This is huge. They just smoked twice in a row here. They've got the creep waves not in a position where they can make plays right now, and you know exactly where Dire are. Makoto's actually hiding out of the wing right now. I think they just got vision. He's got a ward on the high ground. Makoto just gonna zip out, but they got the vision for the charge. He's actually back in. Hasn't found an able with the vortex, so trying to obliterate the backline. Young PH, the target, but the Aeon Disc will give him some protection once again. The back wall, full lane completely down. They're all trapped on Yangon. They're getting surrounded. Hao is still going to try and stand his ground with the BKB pop. They'll deal with the Dark Sea, but still, you got to be cautious. Now with the Clinks, BKB expiring. The Omni Slash is out. Hao's in trouble as well. Will give him some of the safe to the northern side, but Hao's still not going to live. They'll be able to bring him down successfully. Mass buybacks coming to the fray.
Oh, what were you saying with those buybacks? Half of them used in that single team fight. 5 there. I think they might be trying to bait a bit of an aggressive move out here from Neon Esports, feeling confident that they might have finally been able to take hold of this game. First buyback used. They look to reconsider. Unknown. He does not know what to do. Are we going to keep moving forward? Are we going to try and believe that the Ember Spirit doesn't have buyback available for himself? They back up.
Have we used Refresher Shard? I don't see it.
I guess so.
There
were a lot of walls.
Yeah, it was the orb that he used there, so I'm not sure when they used it previously. Alright, well, let's go buyback check real quick. Jug, Ember, Bloodseeker, that's all.
Oh, okay, so Makoto actually, what did he just buy? His Lincolns. Alright.
DD.
Giving it over to Unknown here. Putting a lot of faith in the Juggernaut. Means Makoto's only 5 slotted though.
Zorain? I feel like you got to play really far in the backline here. You cannot give Neon an opportunity with Ember down for 20. He doesn't want to force the buyback, but he might have to now. Makoto trying to poke and prod. Lon's actually going to look to jump in, but instantly the protection coming through. Makoto will dodge the A-Tots, but the initial Hex is out. But once again, Xiaoyu to safety, it's not enough. Makoto is down without a buyback. Young PH is going to force his own. They'll look to heavily penalize Neon, condemning their own positioning, but they're going to be cautious because I know DD popped as well, but now he himself has compromised his own position. A Blade Fury, but he's got no answer. You have to hope he has a buyback, and he does. But Neon have just given a huge opportunity for Yangon to walk it down, and Genuel, he's gonna get caught out as well. The Straggler's punished.
I feel like you can make that play on Makoto if you've got buyback, but he just like made a super deep dive. I'm not sure what the purpose of that was. You know, previously when he's tried to go a little bit deep, it's to pop the buyback, to pop the BKBs, to use the Aeon discs, put it on a really long cooldown. But that time around, it just felt like he was standing around there for no purpose.
Alright, hear me out. Xiao Yu show. Yeah?
I feel like you need some damage to be able to back up the back wall. You know, Clinks isn't one of the best at, you know, being able to kill his entire team with just the wall of replica illusion. It's a really long Roche respawn as well.
They need a Corey and need some way to scout.
They got the rocket flare.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has
Oh, with Storm respawning soon, they're actually gonna go now. One ward drop. They don't have Storm for another 10 seconds. Hustler's outside the base here. And he doesn't have a buyback as well, so taking a fight before the Storm. And they give up Gem.
I'm not sure what that's about. You gotta fight with your Storm. It's like the best core to fight around inside your own base. And just giving up your own life when you don't have buyback and Jug bought back for you is...
And
I don't know, man.
You use Wall too.
Really close to level 30 as well.
Like, he's got Refresher, yes, but Wall's up in 30. I think they have to give up top. Is how... Is he going tier 4s? Oh, I mean, they're going to force your hand here.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Dakota really wants that level 30, just for the extra the remnants coming out there onto the map, but the top lane was pushed in, the bottom lane was pushed in. It was only been only a couple of creeps, so he's gone for a little bit of a desperation play there.
Is this fourth?
Should be able to clean this up. This is fourth.
Dire are scanning.
Oh man, you take a fight in this close proximity, it could be life and death for Yangon. You have to be goddamn perfect with your formation across this area.
It's a
Makoto's
5v4, let's
wait.
remember that.
Ember
the
just
Aeon disc,
rammed it
though.
in instantly.
Actually, doesn't even proc the Aeon
That's
disc.
a lot of mana force too. Roche is up in 10, so Makoto,
Jackpot.
he has to go back to base. I don't think they can contest this now. Can they even take... They haven't, of course, haven't scouted it yet. Oh, they're going to stay in. Okay.
He's got the gem. They haven't scouted the fact that they've got this observer ward up on the radiant side of the river, though. Pretty big deal. Man, they have
Lon has
4
it.
ruptures now. Refresher orb picked up by the Bloodseeker.
They've caught out the Darkseer. That's a huge target. Xiao Yu's been such an X factor in the fights. They're going to try and prioritize him to bring him down. Can they do so? Somehow the wall. But he still will at least fall. No buyback as well. Meanwhile, Unknown Rupture, they're just completely kiting the Jug. He needs some protection coming through. Makoto, does he want to reveal himself? Bringing him forward with the Zap
Omni.
control, it's enough. The Omni Slash, plenty of damage, they'll kill the Clinks. No buyback available. Somehow Unknown was able to have a fight even throughout the Rupture. They're going to try and target down Skilly. Young PH haven't been controlled as well, but now Unknown as a free fight. He'll jump on forward, bashes up the Bloodseeker. Makoto's going to look to clean up as well with Luna. No buybacks
Dire's
available.
middle tower has fallen.
The
Dire's
base is
middle
getting
tower
sieged a
is
little
under
bit here.
attack.
Hustler has to play tower defense, but that might have just been it. You know, the only hero in the game right now that has buyback is the Storm Spirit, and Makoto, he's got a fairly healthy amount of mana.
Has Young PH got... No, he doesn't have buyback either. Okay, he's going to have to
He
clear out...
only Storm.
Oh, okay, Radiant have Glyph. He's going to... Is he going to go bot next?
Roshan has fallen.
He's going to have to push through mid in the next 5 seconds or they're going to get there too fast. Oh my
Too
god.
slow. Level 30 Juggernaut with Aghanim Scepter freshly picked up, plus the Aegis. Storm Spirit holding onto the cheese in the backpack. Don't know how crazy I am about cores that do that, because you're probably going to go down without any kind
I
of
think
way.
they pushed too fast.
I mean, he's cutting waves here on Young PH,
but
doing
bot's
his
getting
best.
pushed in. They have to wait until the bottom lane's pushed in to use Glyph. Well,
Nope.
Radiant's
they still got
middle
range
tower
creeps
is under
too.
attack.
Bloodseeker's up in 20. See Young PH. I mean, it's a tough task for such a young man. 1 tier 4 down, second of full. Bloodseeker in 10. I think they know they've got
You gotta
it.
commit your life.
I think they know they've got it, Neon.
Radiant's ancient.
There's no defense. They'll just chain lock him down, and Neon should be able to take it down. Refresher as well. The controller's there. The throne's gone. And a 60-minute victory.
Were your frames dying during that combined work? Just so much action happening around there, and it's the Darkseer again. The late game Darkseer can just turn what seems like an unwinnable game into a miracle.
The fact that Unknown just got the Omni Slash shot at the last second while he was ruptured, I saw him ruptured. I'm like, oh, this is over. They just won. They killed the Darkseer. You've ruptured Jug. He's useless, and all of a sudden, Makoto pulls him back. The Omni Slash ripping apart multiple, and Neon, their execution in team fights though through the later stages was. Mwah.
I'd say it was good. I wouldn't say mwah. You know,
Oh,
it's,
come on, man. That's
Bro, there's a reason these two teams are down towards the bottom of the bracket. This seemed a lot less clean, I'll be real, within a lot of the previous series that we've seen today. Yes, there were some stellar performances coming through at clutch moments, but overall, I mean, these teams would really look to try and improve on their overall gameplay if they're hoping to, you know, even if they make it through the lower bracket to get past round one. They're going to need to pull some of this stuff together because, you know, even towards the end, right? Hustler buying back 5 seconds before the Storm's alive when he doesn't have buyback himself, forcing out the Jug buyback. It's a little sloppy. And, well, luckily for Neon, it doesn't end up costing them. That brings them up to 4 wins, now equal with Yangon Galacticos, which means that this next game holds just as much meaning as the game number
Yeah.
1, but I mean, it's still pretty key.
All the games are so incredibly important for Yangon and Neon to have any hope of being able to make it into the playoffs. But if that's what's in store for us for our next game, then boy, do I hope this break's going to go fast. So we'll send it over. Our last game of the night coming up shortly.